So just about 45 minutes ago, Woj tweeted that James Harden is picking up his $35.6 million option, and the sides are beginning to work together and exploring a trade scenario, and it's expected that Harden has played his last game for Philadelphia. Woj also said that the Clippers and Knicks are expected to be among the teams that'll engage with the Sixers on a potential James Harden trade. It's not even free agency yet. Free agency is tomorrow, and yet we've already seen so many huge trades and just like big news come out of nowhere. I'm so excited for tomorrow to see everything that's going to go down contract wise. But James Harden picking up his player option and basically getting a trade out of Philadelphia after only a year and a half with the Sixers is crazy. I want to shout out this Twitter page, the Amateur NBA Analyst, who has no picture profile and was just tweeting stuff, rumors that they apparently know. Apparently, they're deep analysts that they know about stuff. 23 hours ago, they said that James Harden will opt into his contract and request a trade, and he said that the teams would be Clippers or the Suns before Woj did. The Suns is crazy. I don't know. The Suns have been linked with Harden, with Kyrie. I don't know what they're talking about because they have no money at all. So I'm just gonna ignore the Suns. But the Clippers is very interesting and honestly very realistic. First off, from Philadelphia's point of view, I mean, this is like the worst case scenario. I know Harden had his shortcomings as he always has in the playoffs, underperforming, not playing well. But in terms of teammates for Joel Embiid, he is probably the best teammate he could have had and is his best teammate he's ever had. And now they're going to lose him for probably nobody better than, I don't know. I don't think the Clippers are going to trade Paul George for Harden. I think that Philadelphia would want Paul George, obviously, but I just don't see it happening because if I'm the Clippers at that point, I would want Harden, PG, and Kawhi all together. And they have a lot of contracts. They have Norm, they have Robert Covington, they have Marcus Morris, they have Nicholas Batum, they have Terrence Mann. They just have a lot of decently sized contracts. And I think if the Clippers were to make a trade, they would trade any number of those guys before trading Paul George for Harden. Because a Harden and Kawhi combo, it doesn't sound as promising as all three, obviously. For Philadelphia, this is like the worst case scenario. I don't see them being any better with whatever package they get back from a Clippers or a Knicks in that case, in a James Harden trade. And I think it's very likely that Joel might request a trade in the next year and a half because he's already 30 years old and he's losing his best teammate. And he's not going to get somebody better than him in terms of like star talent. And to be honest, this was their best shot. He was MVP this year. They had a great defense, great offense. Harden was great, assist leader. The playoffs, they were whatever, but that's the thing. They were whatever, and they just failed. They are up 3-2 against the Celtics. Joel did not have a great series. Harden had a very up and down series. He had 2 amazing games. And then the rest, he was invisible. And in the clutch, in Game 6 and Game 7, they just crumbled. And both of them were pretty bad. So, if you lose Harden like that, I think it's very, very likely that Joel might request a trade in the next 18-ish months. Which, for a Sixers fan, it sucks, obviously. This is the worst thing ever, I assume. The Knicks trade stuff, I don't really know what the Knicks would give up. They have a lot of young players. They have a good amount of draft picks, but I don't think they wouldn't trade Brunson for him. Why would they want Julius Randle? Why would they? An RJ Barrett and Joel Embiid combo would be kind of horrible. So yeah, I don't know what the Knicks have that the Philadelphia 76ers would want. The Clippers have a lot of middling contracts and a lot of players. They're already super expensive. Why not just go for it even more? At this point, if it's a Paul George trade for Harden, I don't like it as much for the Clippers because you're gonna have to pay Harden. Like he opted into his year for next year, but after that, you're gonna have to pay him, and he's gonna be older. He's already shown signs of slowing down offensively, like just his body type and everything. And he's been forever a pretty poor playoff performer. So I think him and a constantly injured Kawhi combo would not be worth it. However, if you kept them two and Paul George, I think that's worth it because they've needed a point guard forever. But yeah, the NBA is crazy. It's not even free agency yet. Free agency is tomorrow. I'm still holding out on a Fred VanVleet sign and trade to Philadelphia for Harden because I don't care about all that stuff. I just want, I would like Harden on the Raptors. I think that would be fun. Another thing to consider now is this tweet that I just saw by Bobby Marks that Harden is not extension eligible because he signed a 2-year contract last offseason, which means he is an unrestricted free agent in 2024, which means whatever team he's being traded to, Clippers, Knicks, whoever, he is unrestricted in the next offseason, which means that he could go sign with whatever, whoever. So yeah, that's huge for whoever is trading him and for what kind of package they're giving away for Harden. But I mean, Harden these last few years has been so interesting. He's had 3 trade requests in like the last 3 years practically. First out of Houston, go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn almost worked out, didn't work out. Trade request out of Brooklyn to Philly, and now out of Philly to whoever. So, I mean, I don't know. Legacy stuff is whatever. It's kind of hard to talk about it, but at this point, he's closer to the end of his career than not, and now he's kind of like a journeyman almost. Like, where does he want to play? I don't know. I have no idea, because in every single situation, it's looked good, and it just has ended kind of weird. Because I think this time the Sixers wanted to negotiate a contract because they didn't really want to pay him the $45 million per year, whatever, for him, which I understand because he is getting older. He's not worth that much money anymore. There's not many players that are. But just, I don't know, man. Going to a new team, Clippers are in the lead right now, it seems, and who knows how quickly this trade could happen. It could happen tonight, could happen tomorrow, and I'll have to make a video about it as soon as it happens.